Well, hey everyone, and welcome. I'm your friend Art of Mana, and let's dive into the 723rd stream. And I am playing Splatoon 2 today, which I haven't done for a long time. I think a lot of you will remember that Splatoon 2 got a lot of playtime on streams, probably as far back as 2 years ago, maybe even longer, honestly. It is, according to Twitch Tracker, one of my top played and streamed games. I know I've put quite a significant number of hours into the game, and I'm just gonna take a quick peek on Twitch Tracker because I'm curious now. I didn't anticipate this, didn't plan it. Sorry about that. Mictron Gaming, welcome on in, and of course Chrono coming out of that wormhole. But let's take a look here. So this is the stats according to Twitch Tracker. If you aren't familiar with that, it is a site that provides all sorts of fairly helpful information for streamers and potentially dangerous ones as well. But it looks like 136 hours of Splatoon 2 has been streamed by me, which is not insignificant. It is actually the second most streamed game of mine. Animal Crossing New Horizons has far surpassed anything else with 252 hours streamed, which is phenomenal as well. But to put into perspective, the third most streamed game after the 136 hours of Splatoon 2 is Retro, which of course is a placeholder for kind of older games and things like that, of course, and for games that might not have a title or games that might maybe even attract more attention under the retro category, and that is only 80 hours. So, almost 60 hours less for the third most streamed game, and then after that, it kind of dwindles to the 60s. Splatoon 2 is definitely a game I have put a lot of hours into here, and I suppose I could even do a real quick one of these dealy boppers. I'm gonna just pop in. By the way, let's just pop in here. I'm gonna go up to my stats on my own page, most played profile, 240 hours or more. 240 hours or more is what it's saying. So I've put in far more than what you see on here. Now, in case you're wondering, I did just hide the screen because I didn't want to show my my Switch friend code, because I as most of you are aware, I tend to keep that more for people I've gotten to know. I don't want to just flood my friends list with people that maybe I don't know or might not necessarily continue to connect with. So that's the reason. And so today, when I play Splatoon 2, if you are a friend of mine already or you're thinking maybe you ought to be, let me know. We can go ahead and have you hop on in. But if you are new, and I suppose if you're new, you probably aren't here yet, but if you're new, I am going to ask that we get to know each other a little bit more. I can't talk. Before I add you in, and then you can join me in the game. Okay. Enough of that, my friends. I'm sorry. Chrono asks how I'm feeling. Marcelio, how are you doing? And Chrono walks into the room and prepares to draw his paint gun. Ready? Aim, splat. As Chrono tries to draw, he gets completely splatted by chat. And then Chrono asks how I'm feeling. And to be honest, as you probably have already gathered, my being with it is compromised. I am not feeling the best. And actually, part of it is just still that cough, and it has settled in my chest, which is not ideal. And some of it is that this has been a tough day, but I'll chat more about that in a little bit. Still recovering, don't overdo it. Thank you, Chrono. Yeah, most of it it's just been a tough day. But for right now, let's focus on what Pearl and Marina have to offer. And I really just want to dive into this game, and then we'll chat. I'll kind of ramble as I'm playing here. So, Pearl asks, y'all know what time it is? And Marina responds, it's off the hook, coming at you live from Inkopolis Square. I have not heard that in too long. There is a new update, by the way. This is something that clearly happened a while ago, but I just have not gotten to this game since then. It is a patch, a literal game changer, as it were, and we can check out the site for more details, but let's not worry about that just yet. And let's take a look and see what the regular battle stages are. Ooh, Moray Towers. I love Moray Towers. Now, I don't know how long it is until we get our change. Is it at 9 Pacific time? I'm not sure, but Moray Towers is actually one of my favorites. Nexo Phoenix Gaming, hey, how are you doing? And here we go. We've got tower control for ranked battle. I'm probably going to stick with turf battles for the start, and Moray Towers is a big reason for that. And I tend not to go into league battles, but Clan Blitz is also my least favorite of the various modes here. So, what are the 3 most embarrassing words in the Inkling language? Pearl asks, and Marina responds with splatted by sprinkler. Alas. Oh, that's funny. Splatted by sprinkler. Anyway, apparently also it is time for salmon run, so that's kind of cool. We might do some salmon run, I'm not sure. But until next time, don't get cooked, stay off the hook. And here we go. Sprinklers are deadly, yo. Exactly, right? Okay. So we've got ourselves some Splatoon. Now, it's been a long time. You know, I love that outfit. That's really cool. I actually feel like that's a Animal Crossing-esque kind of outfit. And, let's see here. So, I suppose we've got some updates here. Let's just chat with Judd. Meow, looks like you raised your level. Hey, look at that. We got 2 super sea snails. That's exciting. Let's just go up here. Namoose was there. Well, let's say hi to Namoose. Look at Namoose over here. Looking chill as a cucumber. There we go. Running with salmons, Chrono asks. Nexus says, I would join in, but since I transferred all my data over to my Switch OLED, I got to re-download all my games again. Understand. Chrono asks a question. How is the OLED? Are you liking it? Now, Nexo says it's amazing. Playing Sky on the OLED is awesome. I actually really can't wait to play Sky, and I'm looking forward to that. Sunrise Alex, hello, welcome on in. First time viewer, lovely to have you. And Spook Lee, that moment I figured out how to watch a stream while streaming and separate the audio properly so no one knows I'm watching Mana while playing Pokemon. Are you streaming Pokemon right now, Spook Lee, and just watching, but not, I mean, that's amazing. That's, kudos to you. That's amazing. That is so funny. But it has been too long since I've played Splatoon. I'm really looking forward to diving back in. I miss this. Well, hey, thank you, Spook Lee. That is fun. You missed too many Mana streams. I'm telling you, I miss you. It's always nice to have you here. Now let's see if I didn't even look at what my current setup is here, but we're going to go with it. I have a bad feeling this is not going to quite go as planned. I don't really like pretty much any of this, to be honest. Oh, they're after me. Hey, that was good teamwork, whoever was down there. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't like most of what's going on here. Woo! Now I gotta maybe take the high ground again. And there we go. Twice the splats. Woo boy. Okay. Now I kind of just, I don't really want to get out from this area. I gotta remember I can use my special. Like I said, it's been quite some time since I've played. Oh boy. Oh, I used my special, but it was too late. No. Sunrise Alex. Oh, when you said Mana, I was thinking the Mana games. Hey, Sunrise Alex. Actually, that is part of the origin of my name. I do go by Mana. This stream, you know, and all the content that I create on YouTube or elsewhere, Twitter and the like, it's all the art of Mana. But indeed, actually, my favorite game of all time is Secret of Mana. I love the Seiken Densetsu series, and that is in part what inspired me to enjoy even the concept of Mana and RPGs and all of the like. Are you a fan of the Mana franchise? And if so, do you have any personal favorites? Oh, this game. Okay, Sunrise. Sunrise, Alex, is Sunrise. I will try to remember that. And after this, what is probably going to be a defeat, we'll get to know each other a little bit more. This is not great, I'm telling you. Ugh. And I feel bad for my teammates who are putting up with me here. All right, let's actually use this for a change. And I don't know. Oh, boy. Oh. Wow. You're a fan of Square Enix in general? Well, that is super cool. Yeah, that was somebody who knew what they were doing, and they were ready. They were ready. Just unfortunate, to be honest. Oh boy, I think they're getting my number. That's the thing. Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible, actually. This is rough. Oh, hey, game download only in 10 minutes. I guess that's the benefit of having the physical copy. Right next, though, ooh. Oh yeah, we lost. Ouch, indeed. Ouch, indeed. Yeah, that was a handy defeat. I thought maybe we had a chance for a bit there, but I really want to get a new chair, by the way. The one I'm on right now is starting to squeak a lot. And I noticed it a lot with the motion controls because I'm using the motion controls with the Pro Controller, so I'm kind of like, ah. Anyway. Well, Sunrise, yeah, that's really cool. Are you a fan of other franchises that Square Enix puts out, and any in particular? We're going to go with this again. I don't even know if this gear is any good, but we're going to try it one more time. Paint by numbers loss, indeed, Chrono. So, yeah, I haven't played this for a long time, and it's been a while. Marsilio asks, now I need to go see what OLED means. So it's actually organic LED, I believe, light-emitting diode, organic light-emitting diode. So it's a different technology for LCD, or what initially was LCD displays, liquid crystal displays that then eventually became LEDs. And it was the type of displays that had fixed pixels. So in difference from, say, CRTs, cathode ray tube televisions, which those TV tubes have an electron that is pulsing across the screen left to right at a very high rate. And as it does, it basically illumines parts of the screen, and then illuminates parts of the screen, and that becomes the picture. And because it does this so rapidly, left to right, all up and down the entire tube, there's a persistence of vision, which makes for an entire screen of image. And so then, orange lemur eel dinners, that could be it too, Chrono. And in any event, the fixed pixel displays, which is what LCDs and then what we usually think of as our flat panel TVs nowadays, those all have a grid of some sort of either, like in the case of an LED, an actual LED with a 3-color palette, usually like a screen of that, and as these individual pixels light up, then you get your image, and it's all across the entire screen. I'm not an expert, and I'm kind of maybe not explaining it the best, but in any event, an OLED, one of the biggest differences between it and, say, the standard LED monitor is that with an OLED, the blacks are not actually being lit up. It's actually able to completely remain off, and as a result, blacks are much deeper and more natural looking, so that if you're actually looking at a screen with like an OLED display, like the Nintendo Switch OLED edition, if it is a black screen and you're in a dark room, you actually won't even see any light coming from the Switch. And it makes for really sharp contrasts and a really lovely image, and that's one of the biggest benefits of it. Unfortunately, as it is, still somewhat newer technology, One disadvantage is that the OLED display tends to have some sort of fade in, so you might get burn in, they call it. So if you're familiar with CRT arcade game monitors, these are usually riddled with burn in. You could see images that just remain there from, say, if it was Pac-Man, the score area, things that don't tend to refresh a lot. And so you'll see numbers and things even if the display is off. OLED can do much the same thing because of the technology. So that is a disadvantage, but I was still trying to do it. But that's the thing. Okay. Nexo asks a question. I've been asking all my friends this. Let's say you have the technical know-how to make a game. What kind of game would you make and why? I feel bad. This is not our game. That is, and Marcelio says that's super interesting. Thank you. I'm glad I could help out. Yeah, my pleasure for explaining it. If you do look at people's reactions to the Nintendo Switch OLED, most people will say that as soon as you look at that display, it makes quite an impression. Some of the people that see it notice, first of all, that it is a bigger display, but almost everybody notices that it is just a more vivid display. And actually, in reality, a lot of that comes down to the high contrast. So, Spookly says, I want to make Jade Cocoon 3 because it was the most interesting monster splicing system I've ever seen. And Sunrise is back. Welcome back. We just had a whole long conversation about what an OLED is. Oh, hey, is it your birthday, Sunrise? My grandmother was wishing me a happy birthday. Happy birthday, if it's now, belated, or tomorrow. It's your birthday. Sunrise, I would love to sing you happy birthday here. I'll grab an instrument after this match. Or perhaps after we win one. That might be a nice thing. Let's see if we can win one here. And pretty soon I'm going to have to consider changing my my items and things. Like I said, I'm very rusty. I haven't played this in a long time, but beyond that too, I've got a feeling that right now, as this game has, gotten a little bit older, it tends to be populated by people who are really good at it. That's one thing that I miss when the Wii U Splatoon game came out, which I loved. It was my favorite game that generation. It felt like, because maybe fewer people were playing it, it always felt more balanced. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't anything to do with fewer people. Maybe it was better balanced. Maybe it just... I have no idea. But I always appreciated that aspect of it. Let's see here. Oh, there they are. Oh, boy. Can't wait until Splatoon 3 comes out. Sunrise asks if viewers can join. So one thing that I've actually, and I mentioned it at the start of the stream, and I should have put a command in or something. For folks that I know who I already have as friends on the Switch, you're welcome to join in. For folks that I'm just meeting, one policy I have just in general as a streamer is to wait until I've gotten to know someone, usually until the next stream, before I add someone in as a Switch friend. And unfortunately, because of the way that things go with Splatoon 2, you do have to be Switch friends to play together. So that's, yeah, I'm sorry. Thanks, Sunrise, for understanding. I know, I've noticed that more and more folks are doing that or taking that approach. I think that's probably actually hindered me a lot because, like I said, I played this game a lot and streamed it a lot. But, because of that, I never really had a lot of folks joining in, or new folks, all the time. Because, if someone's just browsing the Splatoon 2 category, they usually want to join in right away, and I don't blame them. But because of that, initially, it seemed like a lot of folks were turned away. But I think now most people understand it. And, some people also hit that friend code oh darn, the friend code max, and so they have to pare down their friends list, and it becomes a pain. So anyway, Animate Barrel's here too. It's funny you mentioned that question, Nexo, and it's a really great one. I'll have to put it up on the screen here. Ooh, that was lucky. Fortuitous even. Ooh, okay. So haven't played Splatoon 2 in years, Sunrise says. I hear ya. Oh my goodness. Like I said, it's been a while. Oh, that was the closest yet. Hannah needs to paint us a picture of this game. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Well, there's some good questions here. That's funny. Hey, Scott is here. Oh my gosh. And Scooter. Wait, am I right? No. Wait, no. That's just kidding. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I'm seeing like an old... That's really funny, actually. I'm going to change my gear. No, I'm actually going to swap out of here for a moment. Fun fact, I recently went back to Splatoon 1 to see the state of the game. It's not in a good state. I kept on running into either dedicated veterans that countered my every move or hackers. Yeah, I think the last time I did that, I had a similar thing. By the way, Marcilio, it's so good to see you. It's been a little while. Lovely to have you here. But I want to actually get to this other question of Nexo's here. And this one I really think is interesting. So let's say you have the technical know-how to make a game. What kind of game would you make and why? I think it's interesting that you asked this when you did, because I am looking at a product that I've pre-ordered. I'm looking forward to. I hope will come soon. And that is the Playdate by Panic. And it's a dedicated handheld with this very crisp, almost e-reader-like display, and these small, bite-sized games that are apparently very approachable, fun, and the like. And I've been really interested to see what comes of this, and I'm excited for it. But one of the neatest aspects about it is that it does have a game creator through the web. You can actually go online and make your own games. Now, the designer is really mostly set up for things like your standard RPG fare, room-to-room storytelling type games. But hey, Seth, how's it going? I'd make a game show first. I've always wanted to be a game show host. I like that. But I've been thinking about making a game like this, one that's more story-based. I'm excited to try it, so we'll see. But I would probably make something story-driven at first. So I'm looking at something maybe around the theme of the mana bots, which I have sort of a lore that I created, a world around all of the universe of mana, the Manaverse, as it were called. And mana bots became this thing initially just as more of an explanation of why I have Twitch bots at all, and it slowly kind of took a life of its own. And it's actually something that I had originally developed as part of a canceled Minecraft mod. And anyway, I'd like to actually maybe consider using those ideas with the Playdate software, and maybe I'd be able to make something for all of you, or for the community. So we'll see. That might be a thing. You might see something from me at some point. Woo! There we go. That was getting a little close. And it would just be a little story-based kind of game, but it would dive into some fun little lore that I developed for this. And we'll see. Maybe I'll do that. I may just kind of try my hand with it for a stream or so. Anyway. I wish I had more time. I totally would have joined Mana in Splatoon 2, Seth says. Oh no, my friend. Are you getting ready for your own stream? I'm guessing so. That is one of the unfortunate things about our schedules. But hey, Spook Lee is actually watching while streaming, so that's a whole other level. I don't think I have the skills, but I love it and I appreciate it. Oh no! So this is a good question there. If I made it for the playdate, would it only be available on the playdate? Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that you could release it for other platforms or even just have it be web-based. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it forces you there, but I'm pretty sure there. So yeah, which is pretty cool. Anyway, Barrel, could you explain how to win in this game? Yes, absolutely. I suppose I should assume that not everybody knows what this is all about. So there's different modes for Splatoon. If you're not familiar, the core concept is that you're either a kid or a squid, right? An inkling is what they're known in typical Splatoon parlance. Oh, darn. And you are engaging in one of the most famous and most beloved pastimes for Inklings, which is Turf Wars. We won by point... What? By a tenth of a... I mean, what? Wow. I did not expect that, not gonna lie. So as you just saw, basically whichever team inks the most turf wins, okay? So, yeah, what a percentage, right? So you're engaged in this back and forth, and one of the cool things about this game, one of the things that's so fun, is that there's a lot of platforming involved in it. It's not just sort of your standard shooter. It's not about your accuracy in taking out and splatting other opponents. Rather, Jack is here. I don't know if you noticed. Thank you, Jack. I was wondering. I did miss that. But rather, it is about your ability to platform, navigate, and it has this dynamic arena because as you lay down more ink, you can actually swim through the ink faster. The other opponent's ink will actually slow you down, and so that creates a really interesting dynamic where you have to be thinking about your ink supply and how you're going to travel across the farthest distance. For example, right now, I'm trying to lay down a path for me and my teammates because I have a good weapon to do so. And then I'm trying... Yes! So I also wanted to be aware, right, that there was probably someone there. But... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, they got me with those curling bombs. But... Jack, are you looking forward to guiding Mana on a Zelda game in 2025? Ouch. True, but ouch. No, I almost did a Zelda stream today, but I didn't really know if I'd have it in me to talk so much or commit to a full 2 hours. It's been a tough day, friends. I've had a tough day, so I don't want to bring folks down, but it's been a tough one, and I will tell you one big reason why I say that is that a family member tested positive for COVID. This is the first this is not the first, I mean to say, but in this particular case it is the most the closest, and someone that is in our bubble. So it's been tough. That plus at work, I work for a hospital, and we were trying to figure out, because of a surge in patients, other potential procedures, which I've been fortunate in that the area in which I am working, we have, as precautions, because we have a lot of immunocompromised patients, we won't We won't do anything for patients that are either sick with COVID or who have symptoms or recent exposure. But unfortunately, the surge made it so that there were some decisions to actually have that be reversed, and that we would actually, with these sort of strange precautions that weren't really working so well, we would actually be able to see patients that had COVID. It ended up being just kind of a real mess, and we only did it for a day before it became abundantly clear that it wasn't going to work. And so we actually, thankfully, through a lot of folks speaking up, were able to reverse that. I'm glad that it happened, but that was tough. Ooh, we should have had that one. You know what I should have done, and I didn't. I should have just gone back up on the top area and done more. I feel bad that I didn't. Oh well. But yes, so that's been a thing. The family member with COVID was just diagnosed today. I feel like I want to just share one thing. I don't know that I've actually shared this on stream, but I do want to be sure everybody knows that this is serious. But I have another family member who a while back, only a matter of a couple months now, but she was pregnant, caught COVID, and lost her child as a result. So it's a very serious thing. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but it's no joke. It has all kinds of ramifications. And then, of course, I mentioned my friend's mom, who died of COVID. So it's been just, so two deaths really within the family, or within the close friend circle and everything. So yeah, it's been tough, and I'm still processing that piece, and I'm feeling sick and tired and frustrated with the community that we aren't better. I actually was heartened, but saddened at the same time to read that Ireland actually was able to go back to basically to lift all restrictions. And there are plenty of folks that are still masking and taking those extra precautions, but basically they've combated and beat COVID-19 and the coronavirus. They've taken the precautions. They followed the best advice of medical experts, and they are now in a position where life is essentially back to normal, from what I've gathered. And so many other places could be like that. And I looked at the map on the CDC's website of the U.S. and the high-risk areas. There were only 3 counties in the United States that did not have the highest threat rate. One was, to me, it still seems an anomaly. Someplace in California, a small county there, maybe, I don't know. And then 2 places that it wasn't that they had a lower risk, that like the California one, it's that they didn't have any data. And it was one place in Texas and one place, I forget, somewhere in the Midwest, I think. So whether that means it's a small enough county, or for whatever reason they're not collecting or sharing data, I don't know. But otherwise, the entire United States is in this red. And that's unfortunate, especially, again, when you look at countries that are doing things right. doing things we could be doing and things that we ought to be doing, as far as I'm concerned, in a united front for the betterment of those around us, not just for ourselves. And that's a problem. I think that, and I've said this before, I think the most important skill that is not taught, and one skill that I have often attributed to, because I'm someone of faith. I'm a practicing Christian, and to me, I think we won this one. And to me, the most important skill that I've found through my own faith tradition is that of discernment. And discernment means speaking with trusted experts and people that you do trust, but also doing the research. Who are trusted experts in the field. We've lost that ability. Of course, prayer, and of course, thinking about it and reading about it and stuff like that. And I think if only we were better equipped to know where to find sources of truth, and better equipped to think about the world in the context of what is true and what isn't, and how do we know what is true, and how do we come to know, how do we come to understand, how do we learn. If we developed that skill, I think we'd be in a much better place, right? In accounting, we talk about professional skepticism. Animate Burl says, please tell me more. I'd love to know. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you because, again, it's been on my mind. I think that we could be doing so much better. That's just it. And I think that folks, and I know that I'm at risk of alienating folks and whatnot, but as far as I'm concerned, it's for so many people, it comes across as like that they're like petulant children, that it's that they make it about me, or some vague threat of government takeover or whatever the case may be. And I'm not here to sort of say, or to try and deny that there's any validity to other folks' concerns or whatnot. That's not what I'm trying to say. But really, one of the important things too is you got to learn how to put things into proper perspective and to weigh things properly. And when you're talking about something like a global pandemic, then it only seems natural that you consider how best to beat it, and the science is clear. Not only the science, but just the experiences of people is clear, and yet that there are people that have sort of ground into this ideology that's just so unhealthy. And I wish, and I don't mean, and please, this is not meant to perpetuate any kind of further divide and tensions. I share this because I honestly wonder, and I worry, but I wonder, I'm hopeful there's some answer to this. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know what the answer is, because you can't logic these things. It seems so obvious to me. And I think for folks that, who understand science and discovery and learning and hypotheses and the fact that, like what the scientific method is and how it has been applied into combating COVID. This makes perfect sense. But then there are folks who are not with that background and have very different ones indeed, that unfortunately I think are very unhelpful in thinking about COVID, and they dig their heels in, but there's no answer. There's no way to sort of rationally discuss some of these things, because it's almost like a like a precognitive thing. It's a like a knee-jerk reaction. You say anything about COVID and it becomes this knee-jerk reaction that, oh, it's a cold. There's nothing. Or, sure, but it's all about choice, and so it should be your personal choice whether you do this. And meanwhile, you're saying this with COVID while you're coughing on other people. And it's like, no. Your freedom does not allow you to infringe upon someone else's health. That's not how freedom works. You don't understand freedom if you're spouting out that this is freedom. You don't understand freedom, understand freedom. So that's, anyways, I know we're really just getting into the bushes here and into the thorns, and I'm sorry. I'm probably going to have a few folks here that are going to want to leave or unfollow. And Animate Braille, thanks for the heart. I just, to me, I see this as such a cut and dried thing. Please know I'm not trying to further a divide here, but I don't know the answer, but I feel like there's got to be some. At some point, we've got to figure some of this out. But I'm going to be honest. I really think that the United States, I'm not a doom and gloom kind of person, but I think the United States is in a tailspin, and it's because of dangerous ideology that is unsupported by whether it's the scientific method or just basic discernment principles of discernment. If it is completely unbacked by that, and yet people still hold on to these things that can be so easily disproven, but without any sense that they even could be wrong because it's such a deeply held conviction. I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. And don't get me wrong. While it's easy to sort of say this is one political party over the other, it's actually, to be fair, it does cross political parties. I've heard quite a number of people in the United States diametrically opposed political party system who, on both sides, who've said things that I'm like, no, but of course, there's a faction in particular that has grown highly influential that does not help this situation, and that is really dangerous as far as I'm concerned. And look, I'm saying all these things because it's on my heart, I guess, right now. The thing is, a really excellent article by James Martin came out because I've talked to people who have, or I've talked to people who are COVID deniers, anti-vaxxers, etc., who have caught COVID and changed their tune, or in fact have caught COVID and died. And the latter is especially difficult, and trying to mourn and grieve someone in the latter category is especially difficult. And so Father James Martin, he's a Jesuit priest, very popular writer. He writes for the, I think like the New York Times and all kinds of things. And he wrote a really interesting article about the response when somebody, the tendency we have to sort of almost gleefully rejoice if somebody who was a COVID denier or anti-vaxxer, etc., catches COVID and either catches it and suffers from it or dies, in fact, from it. There's that tendency to like, aha, I told you. And while that is certainly part of that kind of human nature sort of thing, how of course it is obviously a wrong reaction, and we should grieve and mourn and love and feel sorrow. for this person, lift them up. But that tendency is here, and it's becoming more and more common. And I know I felt it. Thank you, by the way, Animate Bro. You've had a tough week. You should probably absolutely talk about this and the pieces that are weighing heavy on you. I appreciate that you're allowing me to do this. Spookly, it's further concerning when something has absolutely been disproven, but they don't accept the proof, right? Can I admit that I'm so confused these days? Apparently cloth masks aren't really effective, or are they? Or should we all have KN95s? But they're so hard to find. I'll actually add that in a moment here, but I think we should let Mana be president of the United States, but wait, he couldn't do streams, then never mind. You know, I actually, for a long time, that was my hope. I actually began began college with the idea that I was going to get a degree, completely a degree in political science. I do have a background in political science, but I was planning on being president. That was kind of my goal, or to run for it, I should say. So it's funny you mentioned that, but let's see. I'm gonna have to abandon the other train of thought because I've already sort of derailed. But to answer what Animate Burrow was saying, you know, if you go on the CDC website, actually, there's an excellent resource for what masks are effective, and actually a grid infograph, essentially, that displays the different types of masks and their effectiveness, whether worn just you, the other person you're near, and essentially how long you can be in proximity to someone with COVID before actually being infected by it. This is a really good resource. It talks you through the different types of masks. The reality is that, as far as I understand it, let me put it this way. I shouldn't say the reality is. That was a filler that probably isn't helpful in this case. But as I understand it, cloth masks were originally said to be used because they were going to be somewhat effective. They were going to help with the initial strain of COVID, which we came to find out was transmitted through things like spittle and, you know, the things that we spew when we speak. And, you know, because we're kind of disgusting humans, that is. And so when all of the sort of proper masks and things needed to be preserved for medical facilities, helping patients who are actively dying or incredibly sick with COVID, you know, anything was better than nothing was sort of the approach. And cloth masks were deemed to be a really effective thing. And they are effective. Don't get me wrong. Paper surgical masks are effective. But to be honest, if I'm remembering correctly, it's only like 20-30%. Maybe not even that high, to be honest. And while that is effective, okay, let's not confuse matters. That is technically effective, right? It's not the most effective. I believe 2 people with N95s properly fitted and properly worn, according to this graph, could be in close proximity, and I think it was like 8 hours before COVID could be transmitted. Again, go to the CDC website. I'm not an expert. CDC, these are experts. Go there to get these facts straight from the horse's mouth, as it were. But I believe it was like 8 hours, something wild like that. You could actually go there and be in close proximity with someone with COVID. If you both were masked with N95s, properly fitted, the other person has COVID, you do not. Your chances of getting COVID are pretty non-existent for like 8 hours of close proximity. So N95s, that's the top. A properly fitted N95 is the best thing you can do. And it all goes down from there. But see, the technology around a cloth mask, there's quite a lot of breathable space and a lot of room for things to get in. And since the Omicron variant came about, it became obvious that it was less and less likely that that these things were as effective. So I don't think I want to be near anyone for 8 hours right now. I hear you, Chrono. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful. By the way, this is appropriate. I've got a Kraken water bottle while I'm playing this. Except my dog and mom. I like that. So, I think Mana is maybe too kind-hearted to be in politics. Thank you, Marsilio. Politics nowadays are less about who's right and more about who has the most power, and it sucks, Nexo says. You know, see, I think it is easy to be cynical about politics right now, especially in the United States. And believe me, if you think that we did not lose face in the global political theater over the last several years, and I mean big time, then yeah, all I ask you to do is do some digging around and talk to some folks from other countries. We've we've lost a lot of face, and so I think it's easy to get very cynical about U.S. politics, but I actually think that it's less about just that people want power. I mean, people tend to sort of say, oh, hey, nothing's good. It's the lesser of two evils. But I think that does a disservice. I think that there are very clear, dangerous strains of thinking in this country, and I think you can trace it to a lot of things. And this is going to sound incredibly, whether it's egotistical or elitist, the statistics will show that part of it does come down, a significant part of it comes down to education and experience. People who travel tend to have a much more well-rounded and robust worldview. People who have to consider and weigh deep intellectual conversations through school and with rigorous training tend to have more robust worldviews. They've trained themselves in the art of thinking. These are not things that are innate necessarily. These are things that we still have to learn, and when some of that has been lost, it makes it exceedingly difficult. So what is going on here? Are we just having a party? I'm confused. Am I messing everything up? I don't know what's going on here. I think we won. Yes, you have to be in an inky area to go into squid form. And Nemo Toady is here. Hi, I've missed you, my friend. Oh yes, next, so that's true too. And you can't swim as fast. And if you are in other ink, it'll do you damage. If you are not in ink, you're basically kind of just like lumbering along. So pretty much you can only swim in your own color ink. Yes. To be honest, I really want to move to Canada. Nexo says, I don't mind. Animate Bro, if you send me a message, maybe in the salon on Discord or a direct message, I'll find that for you and I'll send it to you. I can't remember where it was. Well, here, actually, while we've got a moment, I'll take a look. Wonder if it's this. Oops. What are we doing here? Huh? Interesting. All right, I'm gonna go. So yeah. Oh, but Nemo Toady, how are you doing? Do you have a favorite ink color? I do. It's the sort of green teal color, very similar to the color at the top of my screen here. But anyway, thank you for letting me rant on this. But yeah, I think it's less. Sorry, to kind of finish my thought. I think it's less about power and sort of two parties that are vying for power. I think in part the problem is that it's just two parties. It doesn't leave a lot of room. I consider myself to be politically homeless. I don't feel at home in either party. There are parts of the platforms of both parties which I can connect with. There are plenty of things that fall outside both parties. At the end of the day, I feel like there's just no place for me within the two-party system as it is right now, and you can look at both. You can actually look. So a lot of people will say that we're just getting more and more radicalized and extremist in views. As a matter of fact, there's some really interesting studies that indicate, and I'm gonna do that thing. I'm really sorry. I don't have, and I wasn't prepared to talk about this. I don't have those things handy. Again, don't just take what I say with, as gospel truth. Again, especially because, I might make mistakes here, and I'm not speaking as a total expert either. I have some background in this, but please don't. I'm under no impression myself that this makes me an expert. But I have read some from some reputable sources about some studies which indicate that there has been a very strong trend among conservative politics in the United States, which has radicalized and made centrist policies seem more radically left. As a result, making more extreme right-wing politics seem more centrist. Does that make sense? So, in other words, even though we've the story that you hear is that we are this these two parties, both very extreme. It's actually not so much. It's that you have almost still a somewhat, let's just talk about, and I'm not endorsing anyone here, but let's talk about President Biden's politics that actually, quite contrary to what people might suggest, that he's a communist or socialist. Well, there's no evidence that that he's actually he's not. None of his policies indicate any kind of communist politics or agenda. But actually, in terms of if you're talking about democratic politics, he's still very centrist. He's actually very moderate in terms of what he is doing. In fact, he's done very little that might be considered extreme or would be something that isn't sort of a bipartisan thing. I mean, infrastructure is bipartisan. COVID planning, COVID response is bipartisan, or should be. These things should be bipartisan, but and technically are, even if they aren't seen that way now, if you know what I mean. This is my favorite color, by the way. But yeah, so Biden is a very moderate president. I'm not endorsing anyone or saying anything. I'm just saying, by definition, this is something you can kind of verifiably see. Meanwhile, there are people saying that he is this extreme left politician, and then thereby using that, weaponizing that, and allow for more extreme right-leaning politics to seem less extreme. Does that make sense? This is a thing. Again, you can kind of. There's all kinds of sources that I can't point you to, And I definitely encourage you to do your own homework on this. This is one thing I will say is, I always am wary. I had someone one time come in to the hospital, come up to me, and they said, it was actually really humorous. It was a day where apparently Fauci's.
Thanks. That's generous.
The
Right.
socialists I know laugh when Biden gets called a socialist.
Right. It's so funny, right? It is, because just verifiably, objectively, he is not, But I had a really funny encounter, and thank you for those bits, by the way, Animate Barrel. We've got ourselves some emote only. I missed that. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Namus. It was, and I'm sorry. It's a politics stream apparently. I didn't plan on this, but super. Oh boy, darn. But interestingly, that's funny. Oh wait, the definition for egalitarianism has changed drastically. Oh, interesting. But yeah, so I'm always, there are plenty of people. Oh yeah, so the story. I was trying to recover where I was. So this person comes into the hospital and says, Dr. Fauci's. And I think they used actually a derogatory, very childish, but like a derogatory play on his name. Dr. Fauci's emails were leaked, right? Which is, why are we so obsessed with things like this? And they said, there's enough dirt there. They're gonna lock him up. I can't believe it. I'm so happy today. He's finally gonna get his just reward, And of course, yeah, they were explaining all this stuff, and I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't think this is true. So I responded to them after they said, again, can you believe it? And I just said, I find that hard to believe. But I said it like, I find that that is so hard to believe. Oh my gosh, like, can you believe it? It's so hard to believe. Yeah, I find that hard to believe. That's how I said it. I find that hard to believe. So anyways, had to donate to get around the emote only mode. That's funny, I make barrel. So anyway, I feel so bad. I think Nemo Toady had hopped in. I swear, I bet you I am losing people. It's a dangerous thing to talk about politics. I bet you there are folks that have unfollowed, which I can understand. In fact, I know at least one person has. At least one person has unfollowed. So, hey, there you go. I'm sorry, I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, right, Animate Bro. Marcelio said, I think so. And I hope so. And then this is why I do talk about these things. And maybe people want to get away from these things, and I do understand that. And this is, of course, a very touchy conversation. A lot of people just don't want to talk about. How dare you care about strangers? Spookly, right? Maybe they unfollowed because of Splatoon. Hey, maybe, or maybe they were a bot, or maybe who knows. But at least one person's unfollowed during this stream. Let's put it that way. Which the only reason I knew is because I just pulled up my Twitch stats thing. But no, and that's something too. I have a really I have this desire to really just dive into so much. I've been really seriously considering actually revealing my full identity. I'm not there yet. And it's a conversation still to have with the family, but I've thought about it because there's just more I want to be able to be open about and talk about that I sort of just don't because of that, that privacy factor. And I mean, if someone disagrees, they can come back another day when you're not talking about. There you go, Marcelia. That's true. It's not like I talk about these things a lot, to be fair. The idea of throwing away a group like a group you like over 5 to 10 minute discussion sort of blows my mind. I know. I don't fully understand it. myself. Um, but oh, and you know, it happens. You know, it does happen. By the way, actually, just as an aside, I had a really awesome time hanging out with the Owl08 TV this morning on his stream. Zizal, really cool guy, a friend of Mana that I really appreciate, and he was he was streaming this morning. It was super cool, and so I got to hang out with Zizal, and it just made me remember. You know, there's so many people that I've met throughout my streaming. It's interesting, you know, what we average maybe about 15 people tuning in at any given time on stream. And, well, hello there. How are you doing? First time chat from Caden Curry. Lovely to have you here. My bot says it all. I unfortunately do kind of have that policy of just trying to get to know folks before giving that friend code out there, and it's really just because I don't want to fill up my friends list with people I don't really know, and I want to make sure I kind of get a good vibe from people before adding them in, but yeah, and I understand if that's if you're looking for someone to play with tonight, then by all means, feel free to look for others. If you want to just hang out and chat, then you're more than welcome to chat. And thank you so much, Caden. I do appreciate that. And let's see here. It is Thursday, Animate Barrel, which is very nice. You thought it was Wednesday? It's felt that way to me too, actually. Animate Barrel asks what other weapons there are other than the paint rollers. I'll tell you what, I'm going to switch out. After this, I'm going to go back. We can look at some of the various items here. Animate Barrel, I'm actually surprised. I kind of just took for granted that most people know about this game. Again, I put so many hours into streaming it, but I haven't streamed it for quite a while with Animal Crossing and everything. So, and we met later. So I like adorable kitties. What weapons are there other than the paint roller? There are some pretty adorable characters in here, not gonna lie. I'm really nervous about random players since the Minecraft exploit. I had to change my vetting process to 6 months. Spookly, are you serious? Wow. Wow. I definitely am interested in knowing more about that. I wasn't aware that there was a Minecraft exploit. And Animate Bro, I'm actually pretty honored by that comment. A little, sad too that you didn't have other folks you felt that you could ask. But I've watched people play, but not with anyone I'd feel comfortable asking questions to or about. Or yeah, I know what you mean there. And yeah, a Java exploit, specifically a really bad one. Ooh, no good. No good, Spookly. So, let's go back to basics for a little bit here. In fact, I wonder if I can replay the tutorial for you. That actually is probably the easiest way for you to catch up to speed here. I have been using the roller mostly because it's sort of one of those weapons that I've become very accustomed to, and I can kind of just use without thinking. And so while we've been talking, I've been able to just sort of go about and do my thing. A lot of this game, especially Turf War, is just figuring out how to cover areas and to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for a splat. So kind of trying to watch your ink reserve and make sure you're not moving into an area where someone might be lurking in the ink. You'll see, like, if you stand completely still here, you basically are invisible. But as you move, you can see there's some ink there. So that's part of the thing here. Speaking of Patreon, did you see my donation? What? Animate Barrel, what? Oh my goodness. Let me go back. I did. You know what? Thank you for saying something. To be honest, there's been such little change in terms of Patreon lately that I have not actually looked recently. Oh my goodness, thank you. I will have to check that out. The Java exploit essentially allowed people who threw the proper codes to rootkit your computer and take over the operating system. Don't let random people into your Minecraft worlds. Okay, duly noted, I'll tell you. Actually, it's good to know, too, because I was just talking with Zizal this morning, who was playing Minecraft. And we were discussing, I said, you know, I'm actually kind of interested in... oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, they got me. I'm interested in playing Minecraft Java again, so... You increase your donation? Thank you so much. You use random names everywhere, so my Patreon name isn't my real name. Okay, Animate Bro, that makes sense. I will have to take a look. Thank you so much. I seriously appreciate that. You, honestly, you have no idea. That, you know, I don't really promote it anymore, but it is still actually the most effective way to support me because it is that monthly pledge, but it's also... I get the most of the donation, you know, with subscriptions and things. There's a lot of benefits to you, and that's why I like it, and why I've kind of leaned more in that direction. You know, emotes are fun, and of course, ad-free viewing and all those additional benefits. But in terms of the money I receive, I only get 50% of a subscription. So that's $2.50 for every $5 spent. That's $2.50 that goes to Amazon, essentially. Which is fine. I'm not trying to suggest that, you know, they shouldn't get their pay. Maybe it's a little too high. That's debatable. There are a lot of people that debate that. But, I mean, they do have a platform on which I can do this and upload tons and tons of video content and raw, you know, streaming feeds. So there's that too. I don't know. I'm not going to fight that fight right now. But again, that's 50%. Whereas with Patreon, I think, what is it now? I mean, it's above 75%, so it's definitely better. I think it's actually like 80% or 85%. I think that used to be higher even. I can't remember, but it is, you know, almost the full amount. And of course, you know, bits, I do get 100% of those bits, but up front you pay more to purchase the bits, so there's that. And yes, I can do direct donations through PayPal or whatnot. If you ever are wanting to do... What are they doing here? What is going on this? What is this person doing? Are we just chilling? Are we playing? Are we just playing this stuff? Okay. I'm cool with that. We can be friends. I'm down. I'm down. Yay! Wee! Wee! Why not? Let's be friends. Let's just do this. Follow the leader. Why not? This is ridiculous. Oops, what? Probably wasn't what you wanted to do. We're just partying, I guess. This is so ridiculous. I kind of love this. I feel like stuff's gonna happen here. I wonder who's gonna, like, who's gonna do something first, you know? Because, I mean, there's this, right? Uh-oh, someone took... Okay, one of our side took the first shot. I'm not gonna do it, though. Yeah, I'll come up with you. I'm gonna... You know what? I think this is just gonna be a pacifist thing. The vanilla Minecraft 1.18 is safe, but the older versions and third-party are not. Older mod packs need updating. Newer ones haven't patched. Okay. My gear is set up in a way that makes my brush movement speed so fast I can fully dodge and weave around snipers, and they just cannot aim at me fast enough. Nice. Makes it easier to rush the other team early on. Should I do something? I suppose I should. I'll just lay a little bit of green ink down. I think we lost. But, I mean, I'm okay with that. That was fun. Yeah, we lost. Big time. Whatever. Hey, Shooter McGavin. If it isn't my man, Art of Mana, Shooter McGavin, good to have you here. We just hung out there. Man, doing stuff like this in public games can have penalties, if I remember right. Really? I did not know that, actually. Good to know. I did not think about that, but let's go. I mean, everyone else seemed to be doing it, so it was kind of like, I mean, that's not a good excuse, right? Hey, everyone else was jumping off the bridge, so I just figured I might as well, right? Shooter McGavin, good to have you here. I'm gonna go back here. I think I gotta figure out where it might be here. Is this right? No. I mean, it is, but that's not what I want to show you. That's one thing I want to show you. Shooter McGavin, have you played Splatoon? Let me go to options. I think it might have player settings. What I really want to do is show you the sort of tutorial for this, but I don't think maybe I can't go back to it once I've actually already played. Okay, that's all right. So what I'm going to do instead then is first of all, this is your central hub. This is Inkopolis Square, and here you have a bunch of different things that you can access, but it's really just kind of a nice lively hub to start you in your game. You've got different players that you've actually played with. These are actual usernames. They're not the actual players, though. They're just stand-ins. They stay in place or maybe meander a little bit, but they're actually just avatars. And if you were to click on any of them, like, let me see if I can find someone I've actually played with or know, like maybe a friend of Mana. We had Namus at one point. Marshall, I think that actually might be the Marshall we know. I'm not sure. But anyway, as you click on it and you see their rank, and you see all of their loadout, and you can see they've really optimized those particular items there. So they've got everything kind of set up the way they want, right? And you can order the gear that you like from there. Shooter McGavin says, I haven't, but it looks very fun. I've always wanted to. I highly recommend it. So I'm going to continue kind of giving you the tour here. Now, this cat advice, right? This is actually, this is an adorable little thing. We have a couple of little cats that will give you some expert advice, as you see. And they also judge and score your battles and things like that. You can purchase at the different shops gear. So there's your basic gear, which are your weapons. They're kind of like, Nerf guns or paint products, things like that. But here we are. This is the headgear shop, and Flo is the adorable creature that we buy our hats from. And actually, I would like to purchase this right here. I think super quick jump. It's not the best thing, but I do love that Newsy hat, so we're gonna buy it. Boom. We're not gonna equip it though. So there you go. Now, the next shop here, I'm going to just cycle through. You can go to them from the hub and just meander, or you can just cycle through with the L and R buttons, as you can see on the top there. And those buttons are really the ideal way to cycle through here. So here's our weapon shop. Now, it looks like, actually, I didn't realize this. I do have some weapons to purchase. My goodness. How could this be? Wow. I did not realize I had so much to actually purchase here, so I might have to get on that. Thankfully, some of these don't look like they are too expensive, but yeah, wow, a lot of stuff to buy there. Over here, we have our shoes, which I think it's kind of funny. Then we have the creature, what is it, a crawdad or crayfish or whatever, that we can purchase shoes from. So some pretty cool stuff. I might as well, let's go for that. I'm gonna buy it. And I'm going for things I like the look of. I also kind of like this, to be honest. What is this? And drop roller. That can be a pretty decent thing. We'll buy that. All right, I'm buying it just based on looks, not by stats right now, which is not the best thing to do. And sometimes if you wait on certain clothing, you can get different initial bonuses. So you'll notice there's these potentially 4 different circles with things. The first is your primary boost, and that's, in this case, Ink Saver. It's your sub-weapon, will use less ink. Woody Kendra, hello! I was going to say, I know the streamer gets less money from subs. I also think it helps create a sense of community in a channel, so I donate those a bunch. Anyway, bro, I actually think that's, you wonderfully encapsulated it. Subs do create a sense of community. I agree, and that is why I sort of, tend to just allow that to be the primary sort of thing. By the way, man, my shirt has a special ability. If I spot you, you actually take longer to respawn than normal, Nexo says. This reduces the time the enemy takes in the map. Reduces the time the enemy team is in the map and can actually give my team an advantage. That's fantastic. So in this case, Ink Saver, this means your sub-weapon is going to use less ink. That's one of the abilities. And then you'll see in this particular half-sleeve sweater, there are 2 circles with question marks. When you purchase new gear, your 1 to 3 abilities that are down below, these abilities are unlocked. They're locked, I guess you'd say. They're not present. As you level in the game, as you play, you gain experience that then goes towards unlocking those question marks. As you first unlock the first one, then the second one. Now, in this particular case, there's only 2 to unlock. The third one can be added with another special item you get through playing. So if you like a particular piece of gear a lot, you like the look of it, you like the base stats of it, whatever the case may be, you can actually add a third, or in this case, actually a 4th ability boost, and then allow, and then you work through and you unlock that. That is a neat little feature. And then if you dislike what you have on a piece of gear, you can actually re-roll the entire piece of gear, again with items that you get by playing. So I'll go ahead and purchase this. Why not? But we're not going to equip it. We're just going to purchase it. So that's a little explanation on how gear works. So you'll see here, these are the main types of gear. You have your headgear, your foot gear, and then of course your outfits themselves. You don't have pants in this game, but you have shirts and things like that. and so for the different gear that you wear, that gives you 3 potential things that will give you boost. Now, the weapons themselves will also, it's a little different. They'll give you some bonus abilities. So you'll see there's, first of all, a sub-weapon. So you'll see on the Splooshomatic, it gives you some basic stats there, but you'll see it says sub-splat bomb. This is your basic bomb that you throw, and it's a little pyramid-like item, and it explodes. Boom. Basic, right? But then you have a special, and this is something that as you spread enough ink on the turf, you actually will see that meter in the top right. Watch when I play next, and you'll see it fill up. You might have noticed it a few times. There's this big circle that fills up in the top right corner. And when that's flashing, you can actually push the R right stick, R3, you push that in, and it will unlock, or it will activate that special. In this case, it's the Ultra Stamp, which is basically like an enormous bop hammer that you just go around with, okay? So there's different ones like that. All right, let's get out of here real quick. And I'm actually going to go into my gear, and I'll show you some of the weapons, okay? So this is another favorite of mine, the Aerospray RG, and it kind of looks, oops, hold on a second, kind of looks like a what is it called? Oh gosh, I can't think of the what's the word? You know, the thing that you do with the airbrush. There we go. And so it's essentially your airbrush. So all these are themed, you know, very kind of cute. Paint roller, airbrush. Here you have an NES Zapper. This is another one of my favorites here. This one here, you know, kind of a big Clash blaster. Looks like some kind of Nerf gun sort of thing. You've got your big gallon, 96 gallon there kind of thing. You've got dualies here, which is a kind of a fun little thing. You kind of run around with these little pistols, and that can be real fun. You've got things like the Explosher, and it's essentially like a giant bucket you just kind of chuck paint out of or ink out of. It's real fun. Let me try and find some other stuff. Here's another one. This is the Blob Lobber, so you actually can get these little blobs of ink and just splosh them out. Again, very fun and creative sorts of weapons. And I love that, you know, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It also is very much toy-like and innocent. And that's what I love about this too. You know, your big paintbrush here. And it's nice to have a game where, you know, it's kind of like that. Here's an umbrella, Splat umbrella. Here's a good one, the Tri-Slosher, right? Kind of fun. You can see how that works right there. Here's another similar sort of thing, the Slosher, the basic Slosher. Dark Solid X, hello! So that's what you've got here. And then here we go, Splatter Scope. These are essentially like your sniper-like items. You know, you can charge them up and do a long-distance, very precise kind of shot. And so that's that. I hope that answers your question, Animate Barrel. And then, and so I'm going to go with the Zapper. I'm going to NZap 89. This is good more if you're wanting to take on other opponents. So you kind of want a well-balanced team, but you don't necessarily always select your team. So these are three of my favorites right here. Now, let me take a look here. I think I can actually... Let's look at this here. Oh, these are just some of these things. You can change your style, so you can actually change what kind of bottoms or, you know, outfit you're wearing, right? I kind of like that, but you can definitely do different things there. And you can do different hair, different colors and whatnot. So there are options right there, should you be inclined. You can also save your current gear, player settings, and camera options to an amiibo, which is kind of cool too. So if you want to play elsewhere and stuff like that. Let's change out. Why not? Let's go with something that we can kind of be unlocking things with. But I love those glasses there. I think I actually want to kind of do that, even though it's not great in terms of I only have the one thing to unlock from it, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. If we like it, we might actually start unlocking stuff in it. So there we go. There's that. What else do we have here? I mean, this is kind of a fun little one. Just the puffy vest. Why not? Or we can go with something like that, little hockey team jersey. It's kind of fun. I think we're going to go with this. Oops. Well, that's kind of cool too, actually. White leather. That looks kind of cool. Kind of want to, well, maybe, I don't know. Haven't quite decided. Or we just go with kind of a classic here. A nice little berry ski jacket. It's kind of fun. Well, that's kind of cool too. I mean, there's just fun things. Now, what does this one do? We can actually look at it through info. Haunt. What does Haunt do? I actually am not sure. I think there's a way. There we go. Once you've respawned, reveals the position of players who've splatted you. Oh, that's kind of a neat little ability. That is actually really kind of neat. So I'm learning some stuff here. Solid, how are you doing, my friend? What is up? What is happening? And what is this one here? Thermal ink. Thermal ink allows you to track distant players hit with shots from your main weapon. Which is actually kind of interesting there. Maybe we'll go with that one. That could be useful. There's also this one. Ink resistance up. That's actually a good one, too. Special Saver is a nice one because it reduces special gauge decrease after getting splatted. Ideally, you wouldn't be getting splatted that much, but, you know, it's good. The Ninja Squid leaves no trace when swimming in inked ground, but slightly reduces swim speed. I tend to like that one, but also try to avoid it somewhat because it does mean that I lose speed, and I actually really like speed in this game. It's a good way to go. Bomb defense up. I'm gonna go with... Where was it? I think it was over here. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I'm right. Kind of looking around, still some more. I'm gonna go with this one. The Haunt. That actually kind of was interesting to me. And I admit I just kind of like the outfit. And then let's take a look down here at shoes. What have we got here? It's kind of a fun look. Excuse me. Nexo says Haunt was major nerfed from Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2. In Splatoon 1, Haunt used to mark the opponent that splatted you the entire team, thus revealing them for like 10 seconds. Whoo. That would be a handy thing. I forgot about Haunt, actually. I don't remember that ability. It's been a while. Ooh, those are some cool kicks. That would make kicks happy. Let's see. That's kind of fun. Choco Clogs. Now, what does this one do? Reduces respawn time. Ink refill. This might actually be a good one, to be honest. And I have shoes that have bottoms like that. Why not? We're going to go with this one. Okay, done. So there we go. Go back. That'll be our gear. So you'll kind of see as I unlock some stuff there. Shooter McGavin, doesn't Splatoon 3 come out this year? I believe it does. I believe it comes out this year. So now let's talk a little bit about modes. And actually, probably the easiest way is to go here. So there are some single-player things you can do. So Octo Canyon is a single-player mode that you can play through. The shoal. What is the shoal act? Oh, I didn't mean to go there. Memory Martin, hello. Preparing local play. I did not actually. Oh. Oh, that's right. This is an update, I think. This allows you to host some modes. So we're going to bypass that. So Octo Canyon is your basic. And you can see over on the right, see how I click on things, it actually shows me where these are. So if you want to just go to those places, you could. Or you can use the menu to access them more quickly. Grisco, that is a single-player mode where it's essentially you against a series of salmonids, small little salmon zombie-like creatures. It's kind of adorable. And you're trying to take on these waves of these salmonids that come in and attack you. And there's 4 of you on a team. So it's not quite single-player, but it's cooperative. Now, let's see. So, yeah, so those are some of the various places you can go. There are some other shops where you can do other various things, like getting those chunks and re-rolling your stats and boosts and things like that. So there are different things you can do that way. Then these are some of the modes. So regular battle is going to be your basic turf war, okay? And it goes on a cycle. So every few hours, it actually changes the 2 randomized levels or stages that you play in. So right now, Anchovy Games and Camp Triggerfish are the 2 that we're playing as from 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. That's what you play as. Next up at 10 to midnight will be Gobi
A raid
Arena.
has just been initiated. All high-rank personnel, please report to the front desk to start the welcoming transmission.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Welcome on in, Raiders. We've got a Kimball Donald raid, and that's so kind. And we've got Dingo Sofana. I think you're one of the, I think that's someone new here. Annie. Good to see you, Annie. Kristen Carlton. Potato Power. No need to be afraid. It's a Kimball Donald raid. David V. Kimball's in here too. Oh my gosh. David in the house. We got the brothers, David and Donnie. And thank you so much. Obviously, these are. And we've got emote only mode redeemed from Shooter McGavin. Oh, that's fun. If we could get that in there, everyone just go ahead and spam all your favorite emotes. It is so good to see all of you, right? Plus Splatoon 2, like win. Kimball Donald says, Donnie, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, my friends. Yes, it is. It's really good. How's it going, man? I'm not sure if you're still planning on streaming. I hadn't rated you in far too long. Thank you so much. Yeah, player versus everyone. There we go. That's what it's called. Someone was mentioning that about the salmonid version there, or that thing. Dingo Savannah, no need to be afraid. Thank you so much. Yeah, spam those emotes. Spam them all. I love that. That's so great, Beta. Dingo Savannah, thank you so much for that follow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, friends, welcome on in. If you don't know Donnie, what a guy. And actually, both David and Donnie introduced me to the wonderful world of Family Friendly Live, a stream team I'm proud to be a part of. And if you want to see some other great family-friendly content creators, well, you've got David, you've got Donnie, you've got Kristen, and many more to boot. We had Seth in here earlier. Seth is a member of Family Friendly Live. And Kristen, I love it. And yeah, so we've got a lot of wonderful people here. And I can't thank you enough for rating. Another great thing about Donnie, if you don't know, is that he's a big fan and a really great player of Spelunky, which happens to be one of my favorite games. Now, he's far better at it than me, and far better at Spelunky 2, which I've still not even beaten. But we've got some really, really cool people here. And if we could disable that emote-only chat, I think we're ready to chat once again. But it was good to see all those emotes there. That is fun. But in any event, yeah, how was the stream? As soon as we get that emote only chat off, we'll chat more here. Thanks for getting that shout out there, Memory Martin. Do check out Donnie and David and Kristen and Family Friendly Live, which is, you can go to familyfriendly.live to get all kinds of details. There's a lot of great people there. And again, I'm very proud to be a part of that community. You were doing a mod of Spelunky 2. That's a Kaizo-style trial mode. Very difficult levels, but we made it one level further. And that's 20 out of 28 beaten so far. Wow. So is it always the same? Excuse me. Ugh. Is it always the same, or is it is it something that you is randomized like in Spelunky 2? I'm curious about that. And Nexo, yes. Can you use something other than roller next round? It's my only weakness. Sure, of course. These are levels. Okay, so these are designed levels. Okay. Oh, wow. And John GC was actually in your chat. That is really cool. That's the person who created it. That is super cool. Right on. Very, very tricky, but very fun. I really like that. That's cool. And that's one thing about Spelunky is, you know, because it is randomized, it can often be very, well, it can be discouraging, for one thing. You know, you have those off nights. Yeah, sometimes you have those runs where you're just like, yes, and then you get to the end and something silly happens and you lose and you get frustrated. But if you know what you're up against and you can build up that muscle memory, I'm sure that's really cool. Splatoon 2 streams are very nostalgic for me. Oh, I'm glad. Let's dive back into them, actually. I'm kind of introducing the game because there are folks that don't know it. Nexo asks if I want a 1v1. That's not a bad idea. Not yet, because I still want to show some things off here in this game. But I think we could probably end the stream that way when we get to that point, as we get a little closer to the end. I did just want to point out again, this is your standard turf battle where the idea here, you should jump into the rounds for the Raiders. Okay, Animate Bro, I will. Sure. Okay, I will do that. I'll just really quickly, briefly, though, state that you've got regular battles, ranked battles, which have different modes. We'll discuss that more later. And then league battle, which is sort of a more elite style. It's the same things as in ranked battle, but on a different rotation and usually with higher ranked individuals. And then you have Salmon Run here, which I talked about earlier, which is the sort of player versus everyone. It's not allergies. It's I got a cold. I'm still getting over it. It's that same thing. Same thing, Memory Martin. And I actually started watching Kimball Donald because we joined a Splatoon 2 tournament. Really, Potato Power. That's awesome. Hey, Donnie, go do it. Go say night prayers with your wife. That's awesome. If you wouldn't mind, please, including my family and me in your prayers, I sure would appreciate it. Some special intentions, but also just quickly to say that there was a family member who recently also just today diagnosed with COVID. That's one prayer. And then it's just been a tough couple of weeks. So I sure would appreciate that, Donnie. Thank you so much. And if you head to bed after that, fine. Thank you so much for the raid. And do good and be well, my friend. Okay, let's go for it. We're gonna head right there, shall we? I'll just make sure we've got that audio up. And David, how are you doing, my friend? What is up? Oh, it's so good to have you here. Mary Martin's either having allergies, a cold, or a sinus infection. Yeah, I picked up a cold, and I did get tested twice for COVID. It is not COVID, but it's the first cold I've had in like 2 years, and unfortunately, it settled in my chest. So that's where that cough is. And of course, speaking for like 2 hours doesn't help things, but I'm having so much fun playing Splatoon 2 and hanging out with all of you. I really wanted to be able to continue to do it. So David says, good to be here. I'm doing well, but wildly busy. I know. Congratulations on a successful Kickstarter. My goodness, my friend. If you don't know, in fact, if you want a link to that, David, feel free. David is actually part of a team making a platform fighting game, which is a genre probably best known with the example of Smash Brothers. Of course, David is a big Smash Brothers fan, especially for Melee. And David is working on this game, Smack Studio, and there's a Kickstarter campaign that you can still contribute to, but they smashed their Kickstarter goal, so that's super exciting. And congratulations, David. That's such hype. That is such hype. And so congratulations again, and best of luck as you continue to develop this. And I hope it ends up being a great game in the genre, and one that folks really get into, and maybe we'll start seeing all the tournaments and all that stuff. It's really cool. So yeah. smackstudio.com/Kickstarter. Smack, SMACK studio.com. And Spookly says, cool, grats, man. Memory Martin says, oh, cool. David V. Kimball says, thanks so much. I will try after. Ooh. Okay, I'll do it now then. Let me go ahead and pop this up here. Oops. Maybe. Hold on a second. I gotta do this. Doing all the things. Oh boy, is it gonna let me do it? Is it going to? I don't think it is. What's going on? Why is it not working? There we go. No. Oh, this happens sometimes. Hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna just refresh something here. Technical difficulties, and we'll get that going in just a moment here. Let's see if I can take this person out. Boy, I'm definitely distracted. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Got him. Got him. But we'll get that up there. But yeah, so congratulations again, David. I'm sure that's been taking a lot of your time. But I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're finding some time to hang out with Essie Lessie and enjoy the finer things in life. and all that good jazz. Oh! That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And it appears that the thing I was wanting to do is currently having issues. Oh no, that was terrible. So I'm wondering if maybe it's just like a. Oh, here, let's try this. All right, let's see. Do a little refresh here. There we go. Now we've got it. And boom. There we are. That's what I wanted to. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. And technical difficulties prevailed for that. But now we've fixed it. So cool, cool, cool. Now you can see that. You've been working 90-hour weeks. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The spawn has AFK protection, by the way. You cannot be splat in it. That's true, yes. I know I kept going into it, but I'm distracted reading things. But anyway, that's the thing down there, everybody. If you want to go to that, you can see David right there. And look, come on, that's somebody you want to go check out. So, yeah. What is my favorite weapon type in Splatoon 2? Oh, that's a tough one, Potato Power. Honestly, it's the three main ones for me are the roller, the arrow spray, and essentially the zapper, which I forget what they call that, like blasters, I think. It's been a while. In any event, those three are my favorites. I tend to go between those three. This is what I use mostly for Rainmaker as I try to rush into the center, and I'm always trying to kind of play a long distance game. And if I'm playing support, to kind of keep people away from the Rainmaker. I speak like I actually know what I'm doing. I'm so rusty that I'm doing very poorly here. By the way, Nexo's in the game, so that's awesome. David V. Kimball. Question, do you sleep in the bedroom of Mana? And do you live in the house of Mana? Yeah. And are you living the life of Mana? Memory Martin asks. That is funny. That is super funny. And by the way, we are keeping that that message up for just a little bit longer here. Just to let that kind of have a nice little place of prominence for a bit so that you can see that. Don't forget Pet of Mana, exactly. Trying to see how far this brand consistency lore goes. And Otter of Mana. We do have Otter of Mana, that's right. It's funny though, have you tried the Trials of Mana? I have, in fact, actually. But as far as the things, we've got the Friends of Mana, right? But then you have the Mana Mobile, is my car, Mana Sprout, and Ms. Mana, because I'm Mana, right? Like, you got Ms. Mana, Mana Sprout, Mana Chug, Mana Bot. So it's interesting. Some things are the of Mana, some things are not. And but there is a rhyme and reason to it. And I was actually just talking about how I might do a stream, or I might just do a thing. I've ordered the Playdate by Panic. Have you heard of that? It's pretty cool. Yep, Bestie of Mana, that's true. Bestie of Mana. And Mom of Mana. Mom of Mana has a Twitch account. And Bestie is my IRL best friend there. Waiting for the Mana Mobile, exactly. There's not a Mana Pup, but there is Mana Chug, which is part Chihuahua, part Pug. So yes. Let's see if I can... Yeah, let's do it, shall we? Unleash the terror. So now you can see this one's... this plays a little differently, and you can see that... I see they brushed me from the sides. That was bad. I hope the Manamobile is actually a truck full of books. Spookily, that's amazing. Yes. Yep, because I am Man of the Librarian. The Panic, the Playdate, which is a really cool little handheld console that's supposed to be coming out. I have been really interested in one of the features of it, which is there's a web-based game development kit. And I'd actually like to maybe even on stream just kind of develop a bit of a game. It's really designed for simple story-based, more RPG-like games, which is fine because I actually have some lore around, the art of Mana, etc. And I thought it would fit great in something like that. So, what about Meowna? That's our cat? Is that it? Meowna? That is funny. No Meowna. When I was a younger Mana, we had a cat who liked to sleep on my face. I would wake up in the morning and I would find that there was just a cat just draped across my face. And I had some allergies to the cat dander or whatnot, and it was a thing. So eventually, our cat found a new home with my uncle. So that was the only time I ever had a cat. I've always been a dog person. Ooh, boy. As I was mentioning earlier, I am rusty in this game. I'm sorry. Not Iron Rusty. That is one of our friends and fellow streamers, but I am rusty. So there we go. I'm going to switch to another item here. I did a lot with the roller. I'm going to go back to the arrow spray. So the reason I like the arrow spray versus the zapper is really meant to be an item that you use for your player versus player. You know, as you're trying to splat opponents. The roller is really meant for turf coverage, although it is a very powerful, though slow weapon if you want to use it against other inklings. But the arrow spray is excellent because it is kind of a good middle ground. You can do a lot with it in terms of coverage because it's just splattering ink everywhere, but it's also a lot. It's just got a rapid rate of fire. It's got a lot of firepower. It's a somewhat spread shot, so you can kind of aim in a general direction and probably at least get some hits on someone. So it's not a bad, not a bad way to go. If you're interested in what items I'd recommend as a beginner, I'd probably say you want to maybe start with something like the roller, because again, a lot of the game is how much can you cover turf, okay? And the roller is definitely pro at that. And if you're really into splatting opponents and playing that side of the game, which is less focus on turf and more focus, on other players and keeping them from spreading turf, which is actually a really handy thing to have at least one person like that on your team. Then eventually you're probably going to look at the, what are they called? Oh gosh, I can't think of the chargers, which are sort of like your sniper items here. That was just a fail on my hand doing what my brain was saying to do. I was trying to push in R3 to get into my special, and instead I pushed myself off and didn't get to actually activate my special. Anyway, the charge shot. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Thank you, Memory Martin. But as you can see, if you jump a lot with this, you can actually do quite a decent amount of coverage here. I do want to try and get out. I was too slow. I do that a lot right now. I think I've lost some of the timing here. So what I wanted to do was to enter into my special. Okay, this is dangerous. Whew, okay. I did not like that. Oh, Nexo got me. Wow, that was good, Nexo. I wonder if Splatoon 3 will have a mode where splats determine score, Potato Power asks, which would be really interesting. I know a lot of people would like something like that. Personally, I've appreciated that the game doesn't focus on that. But I gotta admit, unexpectedly, I've been really enjoying Fortnite lately. And there, Nexo got me again. And of course, that's a very different kind of thing. It's much more about, like you said, you know, how many splats have you gotten? Not splats in that game, but maybe I should start calling them that. That'd be kind of funny. KOs is what I typically call them. Especially since in the lore of that game, nobody actually dies. It's iffy on the family-friendly side of things. But anyway, yeah, ask your teammates on Fortnite about how many splats they have. I think I'm going to do that. I'm not even going to lie. I love this idea. I love it. I'm going to totally do that. Like, yes. Yes, that is what I'm going to do. Well, already I call the shield shield potions? Shield... I can't remember what it's called. I call them Slurm. So which I think is from Futurama, right? Isn't that the Slurm drink, the like radioactive drink that Fry ends up drinking a lot of. Anyway, that's also not necessarily a family-friendly show, but one that I'd say has a fair amount of heart, you know? Definitely watched with parental involvement sort of thing, but if you're an adult, it's pretty decent. Has its moments. Anyway, Memory Martin was going to join, but their Splatoon 2 is offloaded. Hey, we won. I'll take it. And look, I'm playing at a disadvantage since I am working on leveling up some of this gear. I'll go with this one again. Why not? I love Captain Sparkle's version. He has just defaulted to the word unalive. That's funny, Spookly. I unalived them. That's good. I disenlivened them. What I actually do tend to do is like knock out. But in this one, it's Splat. That's another thing I love about this is actually nobody is permanently hurt in this. It's part of Nintendo designed this game so well to have so much charm and such a cool theme, and essentially be this sort of battle royale-esque type game, and maybe it's not a battle royale, but not a battle royale, but like team versus team. I mean, there's different modes and stuff. But anyway, to design a game like this and then alivened, I like that, by the way. But to make it where it doesn't have sort of these themes that are, like dealing with death and real world weapons and whatnot. And yet it has, it's got charm and a deep lore. It's a really cool game. I like Splatoon a lot. It's a good one. It is a good one. But yeah, with Fortnite, obviously, and I do try to put kind of skins on things that make the real world weapons a little less obviously that. But yeah, I don't know. That is something I don't like about it. But in terms of the game itself, I've gotten hooked in the game loop. Because my friend wanted to play it. It was a game to play together with him. And then, I started to realize, hey, it actually has a really solid gameplay loop. It's got some great elements that really encourage you to keep coming back. Oh, there they were. So I appreciate a lot of aspects of it. But Splatoon nails theme in such a huge way. I was thinking about how it would be fascinating if Splatoon 3 borrows some of the really great ideas from Fortnite, like seasons and your ever-evolving kind of world map. In fact, heck, throw in a Battle Royale Splatoon mode. That'd be fun. But, again, it's about the splatting and, it's not as much about the sort of real-world violence and whatnot. But I suppose Fortnite was basing its system already off of their sort of zombie mode game, so it made sense. They had already developed this. They used sort of that look and feel and then adapted it for the Battle Royale. So I kind of understand how it evolved to what it is, but with all the crossovers and things, it's interesting. You play as Batman and you're wielding real-world guns, which, of course, Batman would be vehemently against in Batman lore. And I can understand, actually, why Nintendo would opt not to have Samus be a playable character in Fortnite for a number of reasons, not the least of which being that Samus wouldn't be exclusive to, like, a Nintendo version of Fortnite, because that's not how Fortnite works, and that's also not how Nintendo works, to do it the other way. But also just the fact that, of course, it is set in a world with, real-world guns and things, where Samus is, of course, even Samus, a dark and gritty Samus, is using futuristic tech and things like that, and not actually dealing sort of real-world kind of stuff. But anyway, didn't they do something weird for Skylanders? That's true, DK and Bowser. David, very good point. I did forget about that. But I think, again, it has more to do with the fact, and with Skylanders, that was exclusive to the Nintendo version, that those Skylanders, the DK and Bowser, were only usable in the Nintendo version. And they were also amiibo. if you wanted to use them as amiibo. But furthermore, I think the game Skylanders has much more of a family-friendly feel, so things like that. So, yeah, but Manny, can you tell me your opinion on the Octobrush? Next, actually, let me pull it up here. I'll go up to the Octobrush. Boy, we really did not do so well there. So you can see I've maxed out my glasses right now unless I get more glasses. Or get more unlockable area things added to it. But I still have some things in there. Let's go to the Octobrush. Assuming I have it. I think... Didn't I see it? Hold on. There we go. There we are. All right, we're going to go with this Octobrush. Here we go. So the brushes are... And David says you're right. Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was like that. I thought it was specific to the Nintendo version. And, of course, you know, family-friendly and all that jazz. And, like, amiibo crossovers. Nintendo tends, you know, and I get it. They're very protective of their intellectual property. You know, some might argue at times too much so, you know. But then again, I don't necessarily fault them. I mean, it does make sense in a company that really prides itself on this sort of very perfectionist approach to, darn. Well, I got next, though, anyway. This perfectionist approach to game development and this very storied history of characters and franchises. You know, they want to maintain some kind of degree of control over what they do. Now, it wasn't always that way. Remember the CDI, which I'll eventually get to some streams of the CDI in a bit. We'll play the Hotel Mario as well. The CDI used Nintendo IP. It is probably more or less considered a black spot on the in the history of the of Nintendo, and so that's probably partly why they don't do it nowadays. All right, you're out for night, David. Good night, Tyler. Squid Games. Tyler's subscribed 4 months in a row.
Game!
Thank you.
Exclamation mark.
Indeed, that's what we got here, my friends. Now let's do this. I didn't really mean to do it that way. I don't really use that much. Woo! Next one I spotted each other. So you can see with the brush, you can kind of move quickly by just going through certain area. But you can also just wave it about and just kind of cover all kinds of area with ink. So it's a very commonly favored item. I tend not to use it a ton. It's not really my jam. That was good. We collaborated well on that. One nice thing about it is because you can really travel quickly in a straight line and clear a path. This is a good one for like Rainmaker. And it can be very useful for anything where you want to just move into a particular place really quickly. And Tyler, thank you for that resub, my friend. Seriously, thank you so much. This has been quite the stream, actually. Next, so after this, let's do a solo round, okay? We'll get our 1v1. And I think we're gonna call it a stream after that. How's life been, Tyler? It's been tough. It's actually been it's been a tough day. Not gonna lie. But I mean, life is life. There's much joy to be had for sure. Hey, we won. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and back out of this. By the way, the little stars there indicate that someone has surpassed level 100, and now they're recycling through. So they're actually like 100 and whatever, which is kind of cool. There's some people that really play this a lot. By the way, if anyone is new and doesn't know me, my name is Mana. I'm an E for everyone, family-friendly variety streamer with a focus on Nintendo, retro and original hardware, and indie titles. And if you'd like to join, if you like what you're seeing, then just please go ahead and follow. And Solid, what?
Oh, thank you. How generous.
Thank
Mana,
you so much.
do you have a fighting story that doesn't involve me? I love to hear one less than 3.
Yeah. Oh, you started a room? Next, so I started a room. You can go ahead and join me. It's an open one. Because that way I don't have to go into the friends list there. If you don't mind. Do I have a fighting story? So, like, specifically about playing fighting games? Yeah, you know what? I remember a friend of mine who he's really big into video games and he's actually really into shooters and things like that. And he let's go with this. We're gonna do it. Turf War. We'll do Turf War first. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna change. I'm going with this. Okay. Oh wait. Oh no, I did not want the gear that I had. Oops. Okay, fight game. Sorry. Well, I have a couple actually. But to finish this one, so this friend of mine really more into like kind of shooting games or strategy games, a lot of PC games. Not really familiar with the fighting genre, and familiar with like Smash, but not with kind of the one-on-one games. And so over the period of a few months, I had kind of been saying, you really should take a look at this genre. There's some really cool games in it. And I eventually got him to play a few of them. One of the games that I really wanted to introduce him to was the game. There we go. Skullgirls, because I thought he would appreciate the gameplay of it. And it was one that was on sale at the time on Steam, and so I did. I introduced him to Skullgirls. Oh, you got me, Nexo. Ouchies. Okay. And he did end up liking it. But it was funny because the first couple of times we were playing, I talked to him about, okay, with fighting games, there are certain moves, and he kind of knew that, he knew that certain controller inputs and the like. And so I told him, I said, you're going to kind of want to learn some of these. But I also said, in all honesty, when you're first starting playing these games, a really fun thing to do is just button mashing, because it makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. And so I remember these sort of joyous, giddy matches where I'm trying to, at this point in the game, to kind of learn all the moves and stuff, and I'm against someone who is just having a wild time just button mashing. And it was really fun. Whoa! Sorry about that, Nexo. Ouchies. Ouchies indeed. Let's keep going here, huh? Oh! There. Oh! Double KO. All right. And then another story I can share is that my first experience with fighting games was with Street Fighter II, the original on Super Nintendo. My cousin had picked it up, and we were visiting my aunt and uncle and cousins for Christmas. And so I remember that in the particular house where they lived at the time, they had, and this was in Oregon, and we were coming at wintertime, it had a giant wood stove, and that's how they mostly would heat the house. They didn't need to. I think maybe they only had the wood stove. I can't remember if they had like central air or not, but they really liked, my aunt especially would love to just use this real big wood stove. Hey, there we go. I have one of the things next. So and in that room with the wood stove, it's kind of like a family room. There was a little TV way off to the side. It was a big room, wood stove in one corner, and on the other was like a little couch and this TV, and that's where their setup was. And I remember just playing Street Fighter 2 and learning the moves. My cousin, who's a little older than me, teaching me how to play. Let's do Rainmaker real quick. I haven't done that yet. I'd love to show that off too. And it was a blast. It really was. And I learned Guile really well through that. It was actually because of the ease of just having to hold back for 2 seconds and then forward and punch that I ended up favoring Guile a lot, and Chun-Li because I could mash buttons. Ryu, Ken, anyone who, and especially Zangief, anyone who required more finesse, we'll say, was someone that I tended to avoid because I really wasn't that good at the start. But I learned because of him, and I eventually actually came to own his copy of Street Fighter 2. Oh no! Well, that was not great. More circular motions, exactly. All right, this is not good. Oh boy. Woo! Woo! Hubba, 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 hubba. All right, I need to this is gonna be dangerous. Okay. Boy, oh boy. That was tough. Okay. How is a game that came out in 2017 still $60 Animate Barrels? Are you looking at this game? Are you thinking about it? The thing is, yeah, at this point, honestly, I would recommend waiting for Splatoon 3. Because these games don't carry the same sort of long-term playability as, something like a Mario or whatnot. Oh boy. Oh. I'm glad that this has interested you, though. It's a fun game. I played a heck of a lot of it, but I would wait until Splatoon 3, and at that point, I'm definitely gonna be getting Splatoon 3. I suspect you'll see me playing a lot of Splatoon 3. And that should be really good. All right. I don't love some of this. Oh! Here we go. And there we go. Woo! That was well fought, my friend. Nexo, that was that was well fought indeed. I actually really did not think I was going to win that one. Well fought indeed. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. But Rainmaker is definitely my jam. So I'll tell you what, in fairness, Nexo, let's do one more, and you get to pick. What is your favorite? And we'll go toe to toe on your turf. Go sniper for a round. And what mode? What mode would you like? Like, are you thinking just a turf battle, turf war, and both of us with snipers, or like just me with sniper? Rainmaker with snipers? Okay. Rainmaker. And let me have one. I think it's just this a spotter scope. I think that's all I've got. I don't think I've ever even used it, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, I think that's my only one. That's funny. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is not gonna go well. Let me put it that way. I have a bad feeling about this. A definite bad feeling. All right. Okay. Whee! At least that's kind of fun to do, right? Oh, can I go up that way? Yeah, it's probably not the way I should have done that. Darn. So you can see how this works. Oh boy. Oh, Nexo! Nexo is definitely... that was clever. That was clever. Clever. Oh! Oh! No! And there you have it, my friends. That was a solid effort. Nexo had the strat. That was it. I'm curious to know if... Yeah. Like, I'm wondering, so... If it was you with this with the charged shot versus me with any other weapon other than a charged shot, where it would go, because there's somewhat of a disadvantage with the charged shot. It wouldn't be bad in Rainmaker to use a charged shot, but you usually only want one person with it. Anyways, wait for the enemy to pop it for you, then sneak attack them. That solid strategy. That was good. Anyway, I enjoyed that immensely, and I think that's a good way to end it. So I'm good with that. We don't have to let our pride get in the way. We'll let Nexo have their win. No, we don't have to do it. We're good. But that was super fun. It was a solid win. That was a clean, good, well played win. I did not see that coming. So no, I think that was good. I had fun with that. I really did. So this is it's a game oozing with style. I think you'll agree. I really do love that. It's got this charm to it. This is great. And it's a game I'm so excited for Splatoon 3. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. For those of you who maybe, it's been a while and yet maybe you're new to the Switch, you didn't have a Switch when Splatoon 2 was kind of the new hotness. I hope that this was a good opportunity for you to see a little bit more about it. For those of you who, like me, I'm sure, probably haven't played Splatoon for that long, but really are excited for Splatoon 3. This is why I did this thing. It was on my mind. I wanted to play it. This got me hyped for it even more. I think it's been good. What helped me win is the fact that it took you longer to respawn because of my shirt. That's another good thing. Cool. Off to bed, Mike Tron says, no problem. Good night. Memory Martin says, well, this was fun. What's planned for Saturday? Well, honestly, tomorrow I'm going to be making a decision, friends. I don't know if I am going to be doing my 6-year stream anniversary tomorrow or not. Some of the things I had in mind, including the bean challenge with the gross flavored beans, I don't think I have the... I don't think I want to do that while I'm sick. Okay, that's what it comes down to. But I think that would be fun nonetheless. So I feel like I might just be doing some kind of chill, probably just maybe some Animal Crossing building or home designing, if that's the case, and kind of just really lean into that. Or maybe we'll do something different. Maybe I'll also have the 3DS plugged in. I can show you those games. I honestly don't know yet. I'm hopeful that I'll feel better by Saturday, but right now, if I had to eat gross beans and really just have a really good time with all you, like I've been able to do 2-hour streams, Tuesday and Thursday. I've certainly kept my energy up, but the things I want to do to celebrate 6 years, I don't think I'm quite there yet. So, I hope that answers that question. Nexa says, you got me hooked on Splatoon again. I think I'm going to go play some Turf War solo. But I'll let you know tomorrow, by the way. That's what I was going to say. And then, I'm glad, Nixo. That's fun. That's really cool. And Memory Martin says, I need to talk to you about my uncle if you have a time real quick after the stream. I can do that if it's real quick. Totally, let's do that. Let's take a look and see who we are going to raid in honor of our Kimball Donald raid. Let's take a look at Family Friendly Live, see who's on right now. I always look at this anyway. This and of course our other stream team as well. Oh, look, Mad Spike is currently streaming music. Well, we gotta go check out Mad Spike. We haven't rated Mad Spike in a while. Mad Spike doing music. I love that. I love it. So we're gonna go and raid Mad Spike, my friends. Now, let's go. I'll get that going. Oh yeah, solid. Any thoughts on the King of Fighters 15? The price is too much for me right now. I am definitely gonna look into it. I didn't read it or watch anything yet, but I will be soon. So again, if anybody's new, please do consider following me on any of the various places that you can follow me if you are interested. We have good times. And Jupiter, I'm blue. Well, bye. Sorry. Oh my gosh, my friend. No, I know. I'm sorry. We're just actually wrapping up. My apologies there. I'm just about to do a raid here with Mad Spike. But if anyone is new and likes what they see here, please consider a follow. For everyone who's joined me today, thank you so much. It's good to see some familiar names. Jupiter, I'm blue. Good to see you as well. Even though it's a last minute sort of thing. I see you. We're going to go raid Mad Spike, a family-friendly streamer, playing a bunch of music right now, which is super cool. And I'll let you know about Saturday tomorrow. So I'll announce something tomorrow one way or another for Saturday. And do good, be well, stay safe and healthy, my friends, and enjoy your Friday. I hope it's a good one. And yeah, I think that's about it. Much love to you. Thank you. Good night.